afternoon. Right now, in our city of Calcutta, we are facing a great problem with a disease which is becoming killer for the children at least. And this disease, although it is very frequently being incriminated as a disease caused by adenovirus, but let me clarify, symptomatically, there are other viruses which are presently in circulation in our city and the state. And symptomatically, they all come out with cough, sneezing, that means upper respiratory symptoms, severe pain in the throat, and fever. All these symptoms, sometimes associated with conjunctivitis, that is redness and stickiness of the eyes, diarrhea, sometimes pain abdomen, and in some cases, burning micturition, that means painful urination. These symptoms, this particular disease complex or symptom complex, rather let me tell you, it is a symptom complex instead of telling it is a disease. A sample survey of the causative agent recently done in the city indicated that around 30% of the causative agent is adenovirus. There are other viruses also which occupy the rest of the percentages, which includes influenza A, influenza B, parainfluenza virus, rhinovirus, metapneumovirus, and so on and so forth. So one issue is that without diagnosing each and every case virologically, we cannot say that a patient coming up with such symptom as I told you would be a disease, adenovirus caused disease. Maybe the patient would be suffering from adenovirus, but it is not all the cases are not really adenovirus. Adenovirus is a kind of a virus which is a DNA virus, and it has got several serotypes. And of those serotypes, some of these serotypes are a little bit complicated. That means it causes more serious disease. Otherwise, it's a very milder form of disease, including the disease which is caused by other viruses, other respiratory viruses also. That means the influenza virus, parainfluenza virus, the rhinovirus, all this. All these virus-caused disease, basically and very colloquially, they are known as common cold or seasonal flu, which we have been observing for decades together. Now, we have been observing all these seasonal change-related disease for several, since my childhood. But there is some special issues, particularly this year, and that is the increasing number of deaths among the children who is suffering from this viral infection. Now, I won't put it like this that all of them are suffering from adenovirus. So I won't be very happy to tell that it's a kind of a adenovirus disease. Let us. It will be better perhaps to tell it as the viral flu or viral infection, respiratory infection, where adenovirus play a major role, no doubt in that. Now, but this year, there is a deviation from the normal observations which we have been making for several decades. Against what our experiences say, that this year's flu, this year's respiratory infection are leading to deaths, particularly among the children, and the number of deaths are increasing. Now, there are several reasons, several hypotheses which have been put forward. Number one, maybe that we are dealing, particularly the complicated cases or the hospitalized cases, and particularly those who die. Maybe they are infected by more than one virus, that means adenovirus and some more other viruses, or parainfluenza virus plus adenovirus, or plus metapneumovirus, something like that. Similarly, side by side, we are also observing in this year that swine flu, that means H1N1 infection, is also gradually increasing. Age group wise, not only children, but also the entire age group are getting involved, infected, including adults, older age group, children, everyone, irrespective of gender. Now, as I told you, these initial symptoms starts with sneezing, coughing, followed by fever, sore throat, severe pain throat, and finally there is respiratory difficulty, that is respiratory distress, and at which point the patients have to be taken into the hospital where they are diagnosed as suffering from pneumonia, and some of them are dying out of this pneumonia. The mode of transmission of all these viruses, including even SARS, if at all there are any new variant of SARS-CoV-2 circulating in our city or in our locality, that is a distinct possibility. We cannot ignore the coexistence of any new variant of the COVID virus. So all these viruses, the mode of transmission is through droplet, that means by coughing and sneezing through droplets, and the contaminated personal articles, including mobile phones, handkerchiefs, the linen bed covers, and etc., etc. And also the innate objects like, say, tabletops, like, say, door handles, and blah, blah, blah. So it is not only a direct landing of the virus through the droplet into someone's nose and mouth, but also indirectly by contamination of your hand and then putting your hand into the mouth and nose. So that is the mode of transmission. Now, then what to do? How to prevent this? Obviously, unlike other previous years, this year it is becoming a great concern because children are dying. So what to do? How to prevent yourself from getting this infection? Now, they're all same as we have been practicing since 2020 in case of COVID virus, say putting mask, particularly when you go out and in crowded places, putting a mask, and always it is better to have a N95 mask than any simple surgical mask or any cloth mask. It is always better to have N95 mask. Number one. Number two is hand washing. At least 20 to 25 seconds hand washing with a good soap and leather. You have to wash your hand whenever you come out of your home and go outside and go back to home. Your first duty is to wash your hand. Or when you are staying outside, if you really need to put your hand in your mouth or face or somewhere, every time to time, it is better to wash your hands with soap and water. These two of the transmission by any of these viruses. Now, the other one is, if someone gets infected, someone is symptomatic, then what to do? In case of children, don't allow them to go to the school. In case of adult, you skip your office or college or some places where you are attached with. So stay at home, take rest, have good nutritious food, normal diet. There is no special diet. You can have a normal diet and plenty of rest. Number two is that don't allow your used bed linens or anything which you are using personally to be used by your family members. And if possible, isolate yourself into a single room and stay in that room. Still, you are asymptomatic, means you are free of any symptom. And another one important issue is, when you are taking food at home, the utensils which you are using, it is better to wash them with soap and warm water yourself. Don't allow other people to touch and wash it and clean it. It is better always to have your own utensils, own plates and glasses, everything to be washed by yourself. That's a very simple job that will prevent transmission at home also. So, in terms of prevention of infection to yourself, these are the methods which you have to practice. To summarize, use mask wherever possible, particularly when you are going outside, and avoid going to the crowded places. Unnecessarily don't touch any object. Don't use others' mobile phone or any personal objects, particularly if you see that person is suffering from cough and cold. So by this, you by and large, you can prevent getting infected by all these viruses. And once you are at all, if you get infection, please try to prevent the spread of the infection from yourself to the others by whatever I told you, not allowing to share your articles by any other family members, including washing of the utensils. Now, treatment-wise, as we know, that there is no antiviral drug which is targeted or which is to kill the adenovirus or for the purpose any other virus excepting influenza A, which includes swine flu. There's a wonderful drug. Or the name of the drug is, the chemical formula is oseltamivir, that is very easily available. And earliest you diagnose the swine flu or the influenza A and put the patient under treatment, less and less is the chance of complication and death. So it is better always to go for the diagnosis. Now, unfortunately, unlike say COVID situation, we do not have any RT-PCR to be done everywhere in any case and every case. So mostly, by and large, the diagnosis is symptomatic, and that is why I won't like to put it as adenoviral disease in all the individuals. It's a viral infection. It's a kind of a upper respiratory infection where adenovirus definitely is playing a major role. And as there is no drug, it is a symptomatic treatment. First thing, if once you become symptomatic, attend a clinic, any doctor's clinic, consult any doctor. Please do not self-medicate yourself, particularly going to the shop and asking for antibiotics like azithromycin, doxycycline, and all these antibiotics, which we have already largely misused during the COVID situation. Please do not do that. It is not only unwise, but also it is very injurious to our future generation, as because it is going to develop drug resistance against several antibiotics by the bacteria, where it is most needed. Now, so symptomatic treatment, attend the doctor clinic, consult a doctor, get treatment. As long as you are symptomatic, stay at home, don't go outside. Now, besides this, as far as diagnosis is concerned, one thing let me tell you, there are diagnostic procedures available in very specialized hospital. It is not very freely available in the cities like Calcutta, and there are available, there are hospitals and institutions where this kind of techniques are available, but it is very costly. It will cost by and large, it will cost you around 18 to 20,000 rupees per test. Now, which will give you, of course, this is going to give you a very wide range of diagnostic facilities that can diagnose all these types of upper respiratory tract viruses and bacteria. That is known as biofire test. That you can have it done in any of the big hospitals. You can inquire. That will clinch the diagnosis. This is important, particularly in case of swine flu. Of course, there is another separate test for swine flu which is available. That is much cheaper, around say 4 to 6,000 rupees perhaps. That can also be done to confirm that whether you are suffering from swine flu or not, because a very good drug is available against swine flu. That is always advisable for you to test it for swine flu, at least, if not for the biofire, for the entire viral spectrum, but at least for the swine flu, you can be sure and get yourself treated. So all these, whatever I had to say, this is your choice to select your doctor, but please don't, again, let me tell you, please don't self medicate yourself. Please don't go to the medicine shop and ask for any kind of medicine. Thank you very much.